The final weekend of the 27 Blancpain GT Series at the Circuit de Catalunya outside Barcelona. It's all to play for. A packed grid of cars, a packed weekend of entertainment, but it's the 50 cars at the front that count, fighting for the Blancpain GT Series honours. Are you a Bentley fan, a Lamborghini fan, a Nissan fan, an Aston Martin fan? They're all there. Single-seaters also on the support programme. It's the number 8 Bentley crew leading the Endurance Cup Challenge. Vincent Abril, Maxime Soulet, and looking for victory on home ground, it's Andy Soucek.
To win the title here would be absolutely incredible. I mean, I don't even want to think too much about it because I'm a bit superstitious, so I'd rather do my job and my race. But having here all my friends, family, sponsors, and all the support of the fans as well would mean a lot to me. We definitely have an advantage, but it's only 8 points, and there is 25 in game, so we're definitely in the strongest position. I'm definitely going to cry a lot if we cross the start-finish line in front of the Lambo and we can clinch the title.
While Soucek will be gunning for victory on home ground, it's his teammate Vincent Abril who still has a crack at the overall title. Can he topple the Lamborghini Chargers? He's dying to do so.
There's a lot of good points to catch. It's the last race of the season, and we feel like every race we're making an improvement, so we're looking forward to it. A lot of challenges. The sprint in 2015 was already a big achievement, but to have the complete profile as a racing driver, winning the endurance and the sprint would mean everything. But still a very long weekend to go, and I'm not really thinking that far ahead. Just focus on that race, and hopefully things go the way they should and we get the result we deserve.
The challenge to Bentley comes from the 63 Lamborghini from Grasso Racing Team, and what a lineup of drivers they have. Mirko Bortolotti, he really means business. Andrea Caldarelli brought in for the Endurance Cup round. And here in Spain, Christian Engelhardt.
It's been an amazing season for us. I see it in this way, no matter what happens now. We've had some fabulous races. We're in a great position for the championship. Everybody on this team has put so much effort into the whole season, so it really would be the greatest to finish out on top. It's what we've been aiming for, dreaming of. Obviously we do everything we can to take the victory home, bring it to Grasso Racing, to Lamborghini. We do our best for that, as always in the car, but I don't feel any more pressure than any other weekend. First we have to do a good job, and then we see where we are.
In the Pro-Am class, the honours have already been wrapped up at the Spa 24 Hours by the Oman Racing Team with their Aston Martin. Sally Yoluk, Johnny Adam, who really has been flying this year, and the driver who hopes to bring it home here in Spain, Ahmad Al-Hati.
It's an amazing feeling to have won the championship, coming into Barcelona obviously with less stress, but obviously having been told that we won the championship at Spa on the final lap on the checkered flag. It's something that I'm always going to remember and never forget. It means so much to be able to compete in such a competitive championship and to clinch the Pro-Am championship with such a strong field with all the amazing drivers. Having Johnny with me in the car definitely has helped us. Obviously, he's been doing an amazing job with the car itself, and I've been more comfortable in the car. Working with TF and Oman Racing has been amazing this year.
While Aston Martin's taken the Pro-Am Endurance Cup honours across the course the whole season in the Pro-Am class, it's belonged to the 333 Rinaldi Racing Ferrari. Daniel Karwitz has been a star. He unfortunately missed a round, but they're ever present to take the title, Alexander Matschel.
I feel excited. It's our last race, and we will have a long break in between. But I feel excited. I'm looking forward to go for a race. We came here last year for the sprint, and this time I learned the track. I like the track. Yeah, I feel a little bit sorry for him, though. I will be the champion, and he can be only second. But so he missed one race, so that's it.
In the AM class, the Ferrari 488 has very much been the weapon of choice, both for the 488 entry from Rinaldi Racing and from Kessel with their 888. There's 20 points between them and 25 to play for. Who's going to come out on top? For Rino Mastronardi, it's going to be tough.
It's going to be hard. I think they are strong. I mean, David is quite quick. Anyway, we are quick as well. We will do our best as usual, and we will try to win. I know Barcelona very well. I like the track. It's going to be hard, but anyway, we are quick enough to do it. It is, the Blancpain is the most beautiful championship on the world, I would say, for GT cars. So it's a good title if we could win it. I'm a bit nervous for that. It will be one of the good goals in my career.
For David Perel, up from South Africa, it's been a dream season. He's already got the overall AM title across the whole year in the bag. He's loved the company of Stephen Earle in the Kessel Racing Ferrari. It's been a brilliant year. Can he make it a double?
I'm feeling pretty confident, but also a little bit nervous, because endurance racing, it's not just down to you. It's down to your other drivers too. There's 2 hours that I won't be driving. It's just because I'm not in control. So when I'm not in control on the track, I get nervous. This is 100% a dream. It's not like a dream come true, it's still a dream. I'm still waiting to wake up when, you know, back to reality at my desk in front of my computer. I knew in the back of my mind that I had the ability to drive, but win championships in a series like this, it's incredible.
So the scene is set for the 10th and final race of the Blancpain GT Series for 2017. Here at Barcelona, it's been a wet morning at the Circuit de Catalunya. The track is still damp, but the crowd base is rising. And here's the grid, packed with 50 cars. So it just goes to show the continuous growth of the series. And as Rino Mastronardi said, the most beautiful series in the world for GT racers. And at the front of the grid, the drivers assembling to wish good fortune to those in Puerto Rico who have suffered in the hurricanes that have been going through there, because Felix Sarayas from Puerto Rico, his car is going to be starting third. But it's also to celebrate the end of an amazing season. Who will be champion? That remains to be seen. And of course, we've got many championships to sort out with the Pro-Am and Am classes as well. But the man who makes it all happen, Stefan Rachel, takes the position at the front of the grid. The 17 Audi on pole, Stuart Leonard will start, Christian Engelhardt alongside, just where that 63 Lamborghini wanted to be, on the front row, hopefully away from all the trouble. Then Daniel Juncadella, one of 6 Spanish drivers in the race, and Franck Pereira on row 2 in their Mercedes. Row 3, another Mercedes, they were super strong. Fabian Schiller and Marcel Fessler, who's looked really good, but we have had some question marks over ABS problems for the Audis. There is that number 8 Bentley starting back in 28th position, the outside of the 14th row. A lot on young Vincent Abril's mind. Around the final corner we sweep, looking for the green lights, so the red lights to go to green on the gantry. The first corner, very tricky, brilliant start, great start though from the 84 Mercedes. And from Pereira immediately up to third place, trying to tuck in behind Friens and see if he can get into second. Cautious on the outside from Engelhardt, doesn't want to take risks, he doesn't want too many cars to come past. And the 88 Mercedes getting in on the mix. So Friens takes the lead into start. Brilliant start from Pereira. Looks though it's Marcel Fessler sweeping around the outside from 6th up to 3rd. Where is the Bentley in the pack? He'll be just out of the picture, but Stuart Leonard, sorry, not Robin Friens, I got carried away. He set the pole time. It's Leonard leading the way, but behind, the real gain was from Pereira up into second place. Now Fessler from 6th. Past the car that started 4th into 2nd. And the 14, well, the 14 Jaguar yeah, getting that very wrong indeed, unfortunately. And up the inside, a few body panels a little bit bent, but the cars stayed in the straight line, didn't go off the circuit. The Bentley, though, still going.
59 McLaren at the very beginning. 2 cars. In fact, how did they get there? Because there's one of the real racing.
That's the final corner before they came onto the start.
Well, obviously, somebody's gunned it, because the field would have gone pretty much in the exit of the corner, and some kind of contact has taken place. But the field now stretching its legs as they come up into turn 9 and into turn 9 with the 2 Audis, the 17 and it is the 5, I think.
Yeah, the 5
up in second place.
Up from 6th place. It's Leonard. Let me just stress, it's not Friens. He took the pole time, but it's Leonard who made such a good start and did exactly what the team wanted him to do. But from 6th to 2nd, really fantastic footage as we look from low down. But brilliant start for Marcel Fessler to get up into second place.
2 cars contact down to turn 10. One
now,
of the
which of the Lamborghinis?
And the 72 Ferrari.
So is that the 82 or is it 19? It's not the 63. That's the one in the championship battle. So there's a place almost gained by the Bentley. Just come on in front of the number 8 Bentley. So Vincent Abril being very cautious indeed. Doesn't want to take too many risks at this stage. But it's the 19 car bodywork damage.
Yes, that's going to have an impact on the car. It may well need to make a pit stop because of that damage. The left rear of the wing of that number 19 Lamborghini. He will have to think about whether it's prudent to continue or not.
So at the end of the opening lap, it's Leonard from Fessler, it's Franck Pereira, Daniel Juncadella, swerving all over the place. The 19 car worried about its bodywork, and the Bentley trying to keep out the way, going up the pit wall side. Vincent Abril may be able to gain not 1 but 2 places, but he needs to keep out of trouble.
The Aston Martin down the inside alongside the 3, the Ferrari, the 2 Pro-Am cars battling over that position, but of course they're further behind. On the 87, the Jules Gougnot, that is leading in 10th place, but in fact the 77, the 15, the 42, the 333 and the 97, those 6 cars are all in the Pro-Am category between 10th and 15th place.
But importantly for the 63 Lamborghini, it lost ground at the start, but it lost 6 positions. It's being cautious. Now into the back of the shot comes the number 8 Bentley, 21st at the end of the second lap. So 2 more places gained, went past to Tumlu and Mikkel Jensen. And now here's a view of the traffic. It's the Aston Martin that started way ahead of it on the grid, but that has been caught up. So Sally Yoluk on board the Aston Martin. That's in the Prime class. I said Festa fancied taking the lead. He's up the inside. Will it work? Will Stuart Leonard hang on? Leonard has for now.
But watch Frank Pereira, because that's brought him right into this battle for second or for first place. And Fassler having to get out of the throttle and make sure he doesn't get into the contact. But look, up the inside, is that going to give Frank Pereira the opportunity? It was available. He was maybe a little bit cautious and trying to stick the nose of the Mercedes up in the inside of the number 5 Audi as they make their way again round turn 11 up to turn 12, 13.
Professor's been looking on, fighting for. Just want to reiterate, John, there's the 19.
Damage. That's the Lamborghini that was damaged.
Went on too long with that damage. It's made it back to the pit lane, but look at the extent.
So now Fassler looks to come down into the inside of turn 5. Stuart Leonard gives him room and he takes it. And a hip and a shoulder and a bit of carbon fibre bodywork comes off the rear of one of the 2 Audis. But Stuart Leonard still hanging in there. He thought he'd maybe lost the position. And again, Frank Pereira's watching. He's looking at Robin Friend and Jake
Dennis. They don't know what to do. It looks like the door was left open, come through, but then Leonard was going, no way, you've made my car a bit lighter, I'm carrying on.
Excuse me, has nobody told the lead cars that we actually have got a 3-hour endurance event? It's not a 3-lap sprint. I mean, this is just absolutely sensational. What mistake from Stuart Leonard, and that has led not just Fassler through, but also has led through Frank Pereira. What happened under braking? We know we've seen a braking issue with some of the Audis into turn 10 in particular over the course of Saturday running. Didn't see a lockup from Leonard, but certainly he made a mistake, or the car did something which he had no control over. So the race lead has now gone to the number 5, and Frank Pereira has gotten that opportunity. Let's watch again. They come down there on the left-hand side lead car. Where does it go?
Well, the greatest irony, John, it's the first time he hasn't had the number 5 Audi right on his tail, but and just outbraked himself.
I don't know if he outbraked himself, or the car just didn't slow down. He wasn't under pressure. So there is the start. We'll see what happens. Now, where did the green Lamborghini 63? It just got outboxed, but coming into turns 1 and 2. There's the contact.
He's ahead of the trouble. That's Gounod being pushed to the outside, clashing with the number 4 Mercedes. It looks like he'd done the right thing, but further around the lap. Okay, that's
the 19.
This is under investigation.
I'm not surprised.
Scheitar clashing with the side of 19. 19 very much the innocent party. You can see the bodywork pushed up on that, so very unfortunate. But that was one of the Grasser Racing runners. But from their point of view, the fact it wasn't the 63 car is what really counted. Then a spin for the 16 very early on.
And they're 82 into the gravel on the exit of turn 16. Yeah, this is real live time racing. What happened to that car? Frank Pereira thinks, I've had enough of getting the exhaust fumes from the Audi. Remember, the Audi exhaust pipes point out like a pair of howitzers out of the back of that car, and they go straight into the air intakes, in particular of any of the front mid-engine cars, the Bentley, the Mercedes, the Jaguar, others. So he's had enough. They're 63, having to defend from Gilles Guignol, coming down into turn 1, turn 2. Christian Engelhardt, we don't know why this car has dropped all the way back down to 9th place. Hard to believe it's a strategy. Now, what's going on? Coming up, Stuart Leonard under attack from Daniel Juncadella.
Well, that's the change of 3rd place. About to have a change for the lead, or are we? Up the inside goes Marcel Festa, down the hill out of turn 5, but the attacks from Franck Pereira, the French driver, now up the inside. Can he get his nose alongside? Not quite through the kink at turn 6, turn 7, but the pressure continues to be put on the Audi driver. The 84 HTP Mercedes has been in the mix for the overall honours and for the Sprint Cup honours. Not been so brilliant for them across the Endurance Cup. So 15 laps on the board, the safety car out, full course yellow led to safety car. And it's still the number 5 Audi leading the pack around. The fact people around sitting on the grandstands and on the slope banking, enjoying the action of wearing just t-shirts and not raincoats anymore, means the day very much is getting better here.
The race is effectively underway because the lights have gone out. And I mean, the safety car is about to be caught before it gets back into the pit lane, as Marcel Fassler now gives it one and enters turn 16, tries to max out the grip he has got. The field pretty much equidistant from 1st all the way down to 5th or 6th place.
Yeah, I don't think anyone gained in particular. Maybe the first 5 have got a little bit clearer of Fabian Schiller in 85. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, Fabian Schiller with the green stripe. He's in 6th place, hasn't lost ground. What's happening behind 63? Gounod's lost a bit of ground, weaving from side to side there in 10th place. So at least from Engelhardt's point of view, in the 63 Lamborghini that's in the mix, he hasn't lost ground. Now are we having overtaking in front of the Bentley there?
Chance for the Bentley to make up space. Now I thought maybe Vincent Abril might have been a little bit closer to the back of the Porsche as they came into turn 2, out to turn 3. There Mercedes runs very wide. That's Jules Gugno coming out of turn 3, but the Bentley is
big
closer.
pressure.
Bentley is closer.
Oh dear,
another one.
This is the AM champion, but this is Jack Doiver, and unfortunately he's put it off. David Perella's already wrapped up the overall AM
drive-through penalty to car 66, causing a collision with car 16.
Well, car 66 has been pinged to the Isik Tutumlu for causing an incident with number 16. That was on the opening lap. We saw Toril given a spin. It was one Spaniard against another, and it was almost a Lamborghini against a Ferrari down into turn 1. But Rinat Salikov just got into the corner ahead of Crestani.
If there weren't orange streaks down the side of the Ferrari, I'm surprised, because you couldn't have got any closer. So again, yellow flag in sector 2. That's coming into turn 6 and 7. Not a part of the racetrack I'm accustomed to seeing cars go off again.
Drive-through
Sometimes maybe
penalty to car 53, speeding under full course yellow procedure.
Oh dear, that is a dropping of the ball. Car 53, that was Nick Homerson, who we saw spun at the top of the hill, speeding during the procedure behind the safety car. His car obviously was returned to the circuit. He was probably trying to catch up, so he's had the double fall, if you like.
Indeed, and again, that's all part of understanding and reading the rules and regulations. Just further back, looking at the 4th car on line, Stuart Leonard. So he has, in a kind of way, consolidated the danger that he was going to face on that restart situation from Eduardo Matara in the number 90 Mercedes there. Still the Bentley, unable to come to terms with the 911 Porsche, but under attack from the BMW directly behind in 18th place.
Oh, well, at least we get some overtaking. But suddenly,
what's all that about?
How deep into the corner would you like to go?
23, Alex Buncombe. I mean, that's something you do on a Game Boy.
Well, it certainly was. It gave him a chance to read all the sponsors' logos right the way across the outfield, and so instead of getting past the Crestani-driven Lamborghini ahead of him, he's lost a fair bit of ground. I was just thinking no one else has tried an overtaking manoeuvre in this just after the restart, but he certainly went for one. That one getting serious. That's half alongside, not quite contact, trying to keep the nose clean, but out of 3. The Mercedes is coming in just the moment wide and bouncing over the curbing is Marcel Fessler. That was, sorry, into 4 and 5. Now it's down the slope, but often we see the go in wide come out underneath, but that was position saved by Fessler.
Into a yellow flag sector, so he cannot overtake. And in fact, both cars should marginally slow down. There is the car already. Again, another truck looks like it's got bedded in the gravel. Well, I thought maybe with the rain that we've had, it would have firmed up the gravel, but it appears to be not the case. The 17 early pit stop. This is the earliest that they could have possibly come in, other than having to make additional pit stops for a splash and dash at the end of the race. So this is WRT strategy being played out. We're seeing what the team has done. They made a clear, conscious decision to bring in Stuart Leonard. He gets out of the car. He's done his job. He did a good job.
But right now, leading the race, as it has been from very early on, since that slip-up from Stuart Leonard down at turn 10, it's Marcel Fessler, and now the 84 Mercedes, Frank Pereira. He hasn't had enough, but the team has said, yes, you have.
Well, what they're doing, they're mirroring what WRT have done with the number 17 car, so that's a move. And look at the number 4, Yelmer Berman, likewise. So the teams are reacting to what happened to the number 17.
But the key pit stop right now of all of these is 63, in from 9th place, and that's Christian Engelhardt. He is out of the car. The driver change happening right in front of us.
There is the 17, so the Mercedes will come out ahead of that, as it was on the racetrack.
Indeed,
before the pit stops sequence began.
The gap was about 8 seconds. It looks to be about 8 seconds now, but still that sky in the background, those grey skies, could be an issue in the race. So the 4 Mercedes came in ahead of the 63 Lamborghini, and out they go in that order. So Andrea Cordarelli, what can he do? Is this going to be a drive towards a championship title? Plenty to play for. Many twists in the tail still to come. So Soucek didn't have to wait long. He's Hoyt, the starter driver, that's Vincent Abril now. His title hopes are in the hands of one of his 2 teammates, and providing he gets the third stint to be in the hand of both of them. Abril could do no more. He'll help Soucek get strapped in. Dennis just set the fastest lap of the race. First flying lap. That was the key.
That was the key. I was watching his personal. He's got 3 personal bests, but overall quickest on the lap, 1:49.611. So Jake Dennis has delivered on his first flying lap.
In from the lead of the race, Marcel Fessler. Really good opening stint. 6th on the grid, up to 2nd place on the opening lap, and then picked his way to the front.
What a great pit stop from the WRT guys. So again, just waiting for the lollipop to be lifted, for Will Stevens to be given the indication as to when to go. Is there still a problem in that right rear? I couldn't quite see whether they were finished there or whether they were just clearing the hose away or not.
Okay, well here's the key, through the chicane and still waiting for the 5 Audi. That was ahead of the 84, but only just half a second or so before the pit stops. Sweeping through turn 16, accelerating down the start-finish straight. Is it a better run for the 84 car, or will the 5 emerge just in front? There is the 5 coming out. Yes, he's kept the lead. In fact, he's even extended it. Of course, that gap will come down. The Mercedes at full speed, whereas the Audi, but he's gained about a second.
Jimmy Ericsson's been out on track. He's had one full flying lap, and now he's into attack mode. Will Stevens has come out on a set of rubber. He's not probably driven on. He will be reacquainting himself with the car's, essentially the car's body language. He will have to push. There's the gap from what in effect are the lead 2 cars. Right now, of course, they're buried in the middle of the pack, but that's because they both opted to make relatively early pit stop.
There's the 88 car in the pit. This was in, don't forget, 3rd place, very close behind. This could come into this wonderful 3-car battle. We're looking now with the 84 Mercedes, the meat in the sandwich between the 2 Audis. In the background of the shot, if you have a longer shot, you see the number 4 Mercedes is not that far behind. Lucas Stoltz at the wheel
Any particular brand of meat at all? Beef, pork, chicken,
whatever you like, John.
Whatever I like. Well, there it is.
Very easy going.
Wheels spinning as it leaves its pit box, making its way down the pit lane. There are the lead 3 cars. Which of those 3 cars will find itself with a red Mercedes? Well, there it makes its way out. Is it trying to take the lead?
Mercedes takes the lead of the race. But which of the Lamborghinis? That's the 82 car. Ignore that. So suddenly a brilliant stop from the Acura ASP crew, and that's put the cat totally among the pigeons. It was 3rd before the pit stops, having been going ground by coming in later.
You didn't see that coming, did you?
Look, John, I've spent all weekend saying the 88 car is due a good result, but it's a long, long way to go. Nearly 2 hours of racing. There is the debris on the start-finish straight, and the drivers will have seen it's been there for a lap or so, just out of our sight. But the battle for second place.
The only way they can clear that is to have a full course yellow. And that's the only way they've got a chance, is let a marshal go out on track.
Full course yellow now. It will be a short full course yellow to remove debris on track at pit entry.
Good boy, well done.
Whoa.
Give that man the banana. He's done a great job. Over the fence. Great skills.
Short notice.
You think that
short notice.
So it's going to go back to green in very, very short notice. Problem for the 23 Nissan there. We're about to go green. The drivers need to be right on their toes. There is the race leader who's taken the pit stop. So the 88 Mercedes. And look how the others are bunched behind. The sprint of race Ferrari fast asleep. And suddenly
Jake Dennis,
he's the old man at the moment. Round the outside of the 5, he goes into 2nd place. But escaping in the lead of the race, that tussle behind is the 88 car. But it needs to get past that 82 Lamborghini. Wants to put it behind, but Jake Dennis is tucked now with clear track onto his tail. What a great move.
Big loser in a way was the 84 Mercedes. They were sort of caught with that group of cars that hadn't switched on when the track went green, and still the 777 Lamborghini not conceding ground to a battle that is really for the lead, ultimately not for the championship, but certainly for the 63 Lamborghini, wherever it is, and all that bundle of cars. There it is. I mean, what a melee, trying to struggle through.
It really is a case the drivers slightly switched off. The spirit of race Ferrari rather span out of the way. That didn't react when it went back to green, and those behind really had to scramble. Jake Dennis, what a great move. But the 63 Lamborghini having to pick its way up, back up the order. Now after pit stops, up to 15th. How many places ahead of the 8 Bentley? Now about 7 places.
And that's
clear.
what being aware and understanding the rules are all about. As soon as the signal went green, he nailed it. He was on it, and he used that and slightly compromised Will Stevens and Jimmy Ericsson in the Mercedes, and he was forceful around. He went the long way around turn 9. Brave manoeuvre under any circumstances.
Let's have a little look at the restart as we're riding behind the 84 car. This is Jake Dennis. You can see the yellow wing mirrors. 1, 2, 3. Let's restart.
Off he goes. And I mean, wow, what a great... I mean, the guy is on it. He understands the rules and regulations. But again, the 5 comes up the inside, but it's on the curb, and the inside has no space in the outside. Jake Dennis has got the momentum, has got the speed, and he knows clearly, I'm going to pass the Lamborghini. I'm in the inside, and I will compromise that car if I have to do so. And he gets through cleanly.
But look, the battle for 3rd place is so far behind. Here comes 63 Lamborghini up the inside. 1, 2 places gained.
Gets past the Mercedes.
Oh, suddenly he's gained 2 places past the number 4 Mercedes, past the 84 Mercedes that's lost another position. Ericsson rather muscled out there. It's going to have to be delayed. What a move. Was that the move of the race? We thought Jake Dennis had the prize.
Michael Meadows likewise. 4 Mercedes in a line, all biting the bumper off each of them.
Now we're back on board with the 63. Andrea Cordarelli's got that up into 4th place. Absolutely astonishing. It was 9th before the pit stops. Now he fancies taking a bite out of Will Stevens, but Will is occupying the track.
Yeah, but Will is feeling persecuted because everybody's been having a go at him since he took over the wheel of the number 5 Audi. There it is. You can just see what's going to happen. Andrea Calderardi went down the inside. Will Stevens defending the inside line. Will Stevens is fully entitled to do that, but in the course of doing so, he's given the opportunity. Calderardi opened up the gap. He's now alongside the Mercedes, has gotten through. Will Stevens loses 2 positions by maybe being a little bit, well, trying to be hard, but was forced to concede.
And then you get force wide and the field comes through. Only 2 places lost. It could have been worse, but the number on the windscreen is going to change, unfortunately, from him from 3 to match the one on his door, number 5. And then he's got Ericsson trying to atone. In the background of the shot, we've got the Bentley just catching up with the BMW. So Andy Soucek 13th. He's he would have passed on this lap. Jean-Luc Beaubelique, his next target, he's up to 12th. There it says on the windscreen, his next target is the BMW, so he is on the way forward. There is still a chink of hope. The Jaguar getting pushed wide there. 1.4, Jonathan Hershey.
The Jaguar is right on the races with these 2 Mercedes. In fact, with all 4 Mercedes. So on board with the 84, this is, wow, it's been spun. There's been contact between somebody and coming across the track. That is scary stuff.
So there was Andy Soucek doing his best to catch up, and that's suddenly nearly, well, he's gained a position, but he could have been taken out of the race. So a big save there from Jonathan Hershey in the Jaguar. Showed us the sponsors stickers on both sides of that Jaguar from Emil Frey Racing. So Andy Soucek has closed right onto the battle. On the back of this battle, looks like Stevens going a little wide up the inside.
Michael Meadows going for Will Stevens.
2 more places.
He stepped on it and had to get out of the way because Michael Meadows was on a mission and he's put himself ahead now. The 84
he's lost
car.
4 places, 5 places. Everyone is going past. Will the Bentley get through? Yes, it will.
I think Will Stevens just really wants everybody to get past. He was under enormous pressure. He got slightly wrong-footed. Maybe got on a bit of the racetrack where he picked up some rubber, and that will, of course, cause him to lose grip. But whatever the reason, he's lost the best part of 4 places. The Bentley now trying to still make its way past the BMW directly ahead. And
well, that puts the Bentley up into the points. Alexander Sims just ahead of him is trying to do what he can about the number 2 Nathaniel Berton-driven Audi. That's the one with the green and nose. You can see the BMW tucked in behind, and suddenly it was a very good lap for the Mercedes. They went past all 3 of those in that group, went past the number 5 Audi. Number 5 Audi, though, it's had the problems. Has it got a puncture after the contact?
Could have a puncture. Certainly, they're going to put the car into the garage because whatever it is, they can't fix it on the pit lane.
The championship rivals, Andy Soucek in the Bentley, still in 10th place, still tucked behind the rear wings. And at this point in the race, it's Bortolotti, Cordarelli and Engelhardt who will take the Endurance Cup by 6 points from Andy Soucek, Soule and Abril. So has to get up to about 5th place to move ahead. How about a place change? Could be coming up for the Bentley. He went to the inside, went to the outside. Alexander Sims defending very hard. The Bentley knows he's just about in head. But are you going to be brave enough to go around the outside? But turn 1 flows straight into turn 2.
Got to go
well, we've seen that traditional run through. Will he have to give that position back?
Yes, he will. Well,
gained an advantage by going
across. He hasn't done so, but where is the BMW? There it is up the inside. So Alexander Sims, whatever happened to him, but I suspect that Andy Soucek is going to have to give up that because he cut across the inside of turn 2. And I would imagine he will want to do that as early as possible. So let's have a look and see what happened on the run down into turn 1. The Bentley marginally ahead, but you know he's got to go the long way around. He can't make the corner, so he cuts across the inside. Somewhere Alexander Sim, I don't know why he didn't actually pick up the throttle and benefit from his momentum, but everything is back to square 1.
But there's a fly in the ointment.
Soucek has got to do it all over again. Having to go defensive now. Andy Soucek follows and then gets up alongside. This has got to be a pass, surely. He's in a better part of the racetrack to swing through the inside. Side by side, and Sims tries to go the long way around the outside, but it's got to be Andy Soucek. No! The BMW just squeezes ahead yet again.
Well, that is absolutely dogged. Jonathan Hershey thought, well, I'm going to be taking a different line. The 2 of you are nearly tucked up the inside of the Bentley, so the lights really being flashed by Andy Soucek. That was dogged defence from Alexander Sims and the BMW, but
they didn't have any contact, which is the 2 professional drivers racing door handle to door handle, managing to avoid contact, but the Jaguar is going to put itself into position coming into turn 4. Gets out of the throttle, but look, there was a nudge between the Jaguar. The Jaguar has now found that gap, forced the issue. Andy Soucek has been compromised. The initial little touch in the back going into turn 4 unsettled the rear of the Bentley. Now the Jaguar is squeezed by. Can he, Jonathan Hershey, do anything to give Alexander Sims any more pressure than he's having to deal with for the last 15 or so minutes? the back end of the Jaguar, dancing around as it comes out of turn 8, up the hill into turn 9, and looking more settled as it goes through the corner, exit the corner, and still Andy Soucek can't find a solution to get past the Jaguar. Jaguar looks down the inside, but not so far enough up to create a problem. Ow, and now Alexander Sims makes an error and tries to close the door, but Andy Soucek almost runs into the back of the Jaguar, overrunning the car, got caught out by the lack of pace of the BMW, who's having to reset that error coming out of turn 10.
I think Andy Soucek thought I'd go up the inside, but the Jaguar pulled straight across his nose, fully in his rights to do so, but that nearly was a damaged front end on the number 8 Bentley. We saw the
so where's the
radiator
Ferrari?
cowl
Ben
out of the
Barnico's
way.
got ahead of it, so he's ahead of the Ferrari now. So it's now the McLaren, fourth of these 4 cars. The Ferrari has been overtaken.
Yeah, so outside the points, Andy Soucek in the Bentley, about to be further outside the points. Oh, the sky is darkening, John, but
I'm not worried about the sky. The Jaguar is trying to do it, he's done it. So Jonathan Hershey has fun, but he's run off track. Now, will he have to concede? He was ahead of the he's dropped back behind both the Bentley and the BMW.
And here comes
and
the
almost
McLaren.
Ben Barnicoat almost getting through as well.
So, for Andy Soucek, he spent lap after lap fighting against the BMW. He's got to do it all
Come
over
on,
the inside.
get down
Again,
the inside.
up the inside. He's got to go up the inside, but he goes the outside. The Jaguar coming back, he's not bored. He's got
But the
plenty more
Bentley has
racing.
got track position on the exit. Coming out of turn 4, Alexander Sims forced wide. Will he be able to consolidate on the inside? The Jaguar comes down the inside as well. Bentley forced wide, and the Bentley... How close can these 3 cars get?
It's the intake of breath in the commentary box. I honestly thought the Bentley was going to be given a side slap from the Jaguar. Look, Ben Barnicoat in that 43 McLaren is in the mix as well. This is the essence of the Blancpain GT Series. 4 makes of cars, absolutely 5 makes of cars with the Ferrari in the background.
Up the inside, almost 2 wheels off the track on the inside, trying to find a way past Jonathan Hershey and the Jaguar. Where's the Bentley gone? In the pit lane.
Bentley's in the pits.
In the pits, number 8, Andy Soucek. And I mean, this is
he's got a puncture.
Oh,
left.
No, left rear.
Left rear puncture?
Looks something, maybe there's something on there, maybe it's just the
Well, he was given a hit up the back.
Andy Soucek's dad.
Soucek's family must be distraught because there was a tap up the back.
That was
lost him a position, but it's lost him the race.
What a disappointment for Bentley Motors, for M Sport, who come here with the prospect. Okay, it was a long shot for the 8 to take one of the 2 championships, but they were 8 points ahead of the 63 Lamborghini in the other.
Yeah. So it looks like the 63 Lamborghini now in the lead of the Endurance Cup. It came in from behind it, but it was leading with a very comfortable lead, a 22-point lead with 25 points to play for in the overall title race. Engelhardt and Bortolotti are heading towards the title.
There, Andy Soucek absolutely destroyed, just emotional. Look, you can see how
shaking and quaking.
Oh, absolutely.
He said, "I will be sobbing if we come away with the title." He's sobbing, but for the wrong reason. Your heart goes out to Andy. Riding on board with the 84 car, this is how tough it is between the Mercedes. They're fighting over 5th place there. Michael Meadows and
Jimmy Eriksson. Jimmy Eriksson did the undercut, did a clean pass on Michael Meadows. That was down into turn 10. That was a good, clean, thought-out manoeuvre.
And the 88's into the pits.
Yes,
race leader into the pits.
As out gets Felix Morales, in gets Tristan Vautier.
So the most important stint of the year for the 88 Mercedes. They finished 4th at Paul Ricard. Haven't had a podium in the Endurance Cup races. These 3-hour races, and in case of Paul Ricard and Spa-Francorchamps, somewhat longer, but in the pit lane is the 63 car. This is the championship challenger, the championship leader in all instances. So for Mirko Bortolotti, it's a case of bring it home, Mirko. He's just got over an hour to go in this race, but the challenge to the number 8 Bentley sadly has come to nothing. It broke it back in the pit garage, lost all drive, and that was right at the end of the lap job, because it was almost as it was coming down out of 13 down the slope. Mechanic falls over, doesn't drop anything though. That's absolutely key.
That's the key. Nothing was dropped. So 88 is rolling. The Lamborghini will be coming off its jam. No, it's not. Still the left side wheels and tires. You can see a massive amount of brake dust coming off the left front as the wheel was pulled away. So car down off the jacks. It will be a delta time. When will they let the car roll? Well, Mirko Bortolotti will have to sit there and wait until he's instructed to go. There he is, rolling down the
still ahead of the number 4 Mercedes that came in from immediately behind it and goes out immediately behind it. So the number 4 started by Lucas Stoltz. Jelmer started it, went to Lucas Stoltz, now with Adam Christodoulou tucks in behind. Are you feeling relaxed in the pit lane? Jake Dennis has got a smile. Leonard has just got a grimace on his face because it's a long way to go, but they could be smiling in the next couple of laps. But I must say, Vautier really defending very staunchly.
So overruns Robin a little bit late on the brakes, having to struggle to get the car back onto the racetrack. It's not going to be a problem. He'll be back on the gearbox or the rear wing of the 88 Mercedes probably by the time we get through turn 6 or 7.
It's no longer a Mercedes leading in the Pro-Am class. It's Patrick Kujala now in the 77 Barwell Motorsport Lamborghini in 19th place.
And he's just overtaken the number 7 Bentley of Stephen Kane in the process.
Yep, and leading AM classes, Pierre Ehret sharing that with Rino Mastronardi, 32nd position for him, but leading the AM class. But we would love to have seen a smiling, happy Andy Soucek. He's been caught up with down in the pit lane, putting on a brave face.
Andy, now we're all rather disappointed for you. Maxine kindly spoke to us earlier and told us a little bit about his point of view, but can you tell me from your point of view what exactly happened in the car?
Well, I don't really know exactly, but I was coming from P17 up to P10 with the group in front of me. Possibly we could have finished P5, but I got stuck behind Sims, who was blocking me a little bit too much for the position we were fighting for, and he thought I was coming a lot quicker. But I got hit by the Jaguar, and I think that broke something on the gearbox, and at some point I just ran out of gears, and yeah, I had to retire. So now we will see what the Lambo does, but if they finish third and they win the championship, then I will go and say well done, because they obviously deserve it, and yeah, that's racing.
Oh, 48 has gone off. That was Kenneth Heyer in 13th place. So Giancarlo Fisichella will rise up one position, the 55 Kaspersky Ferrari. So this late stage in the race, a spin into the gravel.
Dear, coming into
was he helped by Fisichella?
Oh, he was, absolutely, into turn 4, and bodywork flies. So Kenneth Heyer is rotated by the 55 Ferrari, and brakes lock, begins to go deeper, deeper, deeper.
From the Grasser Racing Lamborghini Q team, what a crew they've put together this year, and they're getting a bit frustrated down in the world of 63, but the clock is counting away. What country do they come from? That's the full Italian gesticulation down there, much as John has alongside me in the commentary box. Inside, but oh, now look, the lead of the race, it's down. It was 1 and a bit seconds on the start finish line. It's down to only a bit of a second. The 88 Tristan Vautier Lamborghini Mercedes is still ahead of the number 17 Audi, but the Audi is much closer. Robin Freets down to 0.296 of a second. 2 cars up ahead of them. They want them out of the way. Freets is going onto the outside line as they go in behind the HB Racing Lamborghini. The Lamborghini stays just about out of the way, but he has to go somewhere. Freets lose a little bit by going around the outside. So actually, when it looked as though the 88 Mercedes has been in the lead all of this final stint, had this in the bag, suddenly comes back, and the number 15, oh, such a terrible result, running third in the Pro-Am class. Suddenly Brett Sandberg in the dying minutes of this race has ended up in the gravel. And how close do you want first and second to be? Trying to go around the outside of turn 4 goes Robin Freets, but just moving across. In front of him there's still one in front. Who dares look at the screens? Out of turn 4 they go. 16 turns around this lap into turn 5. Not close enough to take a look up the inside, but certainly gets very close indeed. Through the kink at 6 down at the bottom of the hill. It's still the Nissan ahead of this lead battle. 3 hours of racing, one entire season of racing about to be completed. 30 seconds still on the clock. The 63 Lamborghini third in this race. Victory would have been nice, but it's the points that will give them a championship double that will be absolutely massive. I feel there's going to be gesticulation, celebration, and everything else in the GRT Grasser Racing Garage. Along the top to turn 13, a twitch over the curbs, putting the power down as soon as he possibly dares. At 13 is covered. Now they've just got the chicane, 14 and 15. Freets has to try the outside. He cannot get it in. He'll cut, he'll take the lead of the race, have to give it back immediately. He had to have a challenge. He tried it, so it is going to be victory for the ACA ASP Mercedes. Number 88, Tristan Vautier brings it home. It was started by Danny Juncadella. Victory at home ground for him, and Felix Morales from Puerto Rico. Some smile for a country that's been really hit so hard by all the damage of the hurricanes in the Caribbean. But the 63 car surely cannot fall over now at this point in the race, heading for third place, heading for the championship double. And here it comes, bringing it home, the driver who's been sensational this season alongside Christian Engelhardt. It's Mirko Bortolotti. Doesn't matter, he's behind a queue of cars as they go down the hill for the final sequence of corners. 63 bringing it home, a title double in a championship as competitive as the Blancpain GT Series. Absolutely outstanding performance for the GRT Grasser Racing team, the Lamborghini crew. What a great job they have done. So he backed off, but that third place is his. And for Mirko Bortolotti, this will be a slow and sweet run around to Parc Fermé, and the crew already celebrating. He did a little bit of a brake locking up there, and the Mercedes were very close behind. And in fact, change of position, Maxi Bouk got ahead of Adam Christodoulou as we're watching those other cars. It looks as though by 0.4 of a second Maxi Bouk takes that 4th place, but it's the celebration, it's the unwinding, it's the knowing. It goes up, it goes down, but eventually you can come out ahead if everything goes right, and it certainly has for the Grasset Racing crew. 0.7 of a second at the end of the season, the final race, with Tristan Vautier just holding off Robin Friens, Mercedes ahead of Audi, but it was the 3rd place that clinched it all for Caldarelli, Engelhardt and Bortolotti, double champions in the Blancpain GT Series. Sarayes, Juncadella and Tristan Vautier, just time to celebrate, but just to let the emotion flood out. But let's go down and join John with the champion of champions, the 63 Lamborghini crew.
Christian, congratulations, fantastic. Obviously delighted.
Yes, delighted. It's a dream come true. We achieved everything and more than we hoped for this weekend, winning everything. So happy. I'm really proud of the team job we achieved this year. Lamborghini and Grasset Racing and us all together. We achieved everything we wanted. We did a perfect job all year. I don't know what to say, really. I'm so proud and happy.
Well, Christian, at the beginning, you dropped back a little bit. We wondered if there was a problem.
Yeah, there was a little problem, but not to worry about now. We had a really, really good wrestle, but it was difficult at the beginning. There was a reason.
Okay, Mirko. Congratulations, my friend. Fantastic weekend.
Thank you very much. It's the result of hard work. We've been 3 years pushing so hard. I'm so proud of this team, so proud of Lamborghini, so proud of my teammates and everybody that was involved in this. I think we deserve it. We were consistent, we were fast. We made mistakes, but not as many. So we have to learn from it. We can still improve, and I hope we can come back next year and repeat this.
What proved to be a dry day, at least in terms of everything on the track, for us, led to overall victory in the Blancpain GT Series by 33 points ahead of, that's for Bortolotti and Engelhardt, ahead of the number 8 Audi crew. But no, in fact, right at the end, sorry, Bouk and Pereira in the HTP Motorsport Mercedes went ahead of Vincent Abril for 2nd place in the overall honours. But it was very close behind, but really it was a very tidy advantage, joined by the 63 Lamborghini duo when they came here to Barcelona. But at the end, Bortolotti, Caldarelli and Engelhardt from that 63 Lamborghini won the Endurance Cup ahead of Maxime Soulet, Andy Soucek and Vincent Abril, because they failed to score in that number 8 Bentley. But the win in the final race of the year, Danny Juncadella, Tristan Vautier, he brought it home, and Felix Sarayes, who weathered the storm in that middle stint, the Puerto Rican racer. Yeah, sweet, sweet trophies. The trophy for the winning drivers in the Pro-Am class. Martin Kodrick, Patrick Kujala and Hunter Abbott. Hunter normally races in the Blancpain GT Series Asia in a Mercedes, so quite a change for him. And the biggest trophies on the day going to Pierre Ere, who's raising him up, and on the left of him, Rino Mastronardi. Victory, and the Czech goes their way as well. Pro-Am Cup honours overall, Alexander Matschel, there he is, top of the tree. His teammate Daniel Karbitz missed a round, that's why they don't have the same point score. But Jean-Luc Bobelic coming home 3rd overall in his ACA ASP Mercedes. And the Pro-Am Cup in the endurance category, it was already clinched at the Spa 24 Hours. Johnny Adam and Ahmad Al-Hati driving for the Oman racing team with their Aston Martin. Martin Kodrick, Patrick Kujala moving up into 2nd place for Barwell Motorsport with their Lamborghini here, taking victory this afternoon at the Circuit de Catalunya. And in the AM Cup standings, well clear, South African racer David Perel watched this form of racing a couple of years ago, decided he fancied a challenge, and he's come up and he's laid it down. And his teammate Jack Dover and Marco Zanettini did do all the rounds, but they come home in equal 2nd place overall. But it really was all about David Perel across the course of the season. But when it comes to the Endurance AM Cup, the 3 of them, Zanettini, Dover and Perel, of course, they did all the races together in the Endurance Cup, and they held clear of Mastronardi and Ere. But the 63 Lamborghini crew, 3rd place overall, they are the double championship winners. They took victory in the overall title and they added the Endurance Cup as well. It's been an astonishing season. Bring on the party in Lamborghini Town.